Wait a second. So I have to turn the camera in order for it to go live. Wait a second. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, wait a second. Oh no. Oh no, I didn't. Oh, it's all right. I'll have someone in my mind pointing it out, I'm sure, shortly. Oh, they already did earlier. No worries. They made sure to remind me. Wait a second. When did you do that last? Oh, why don't you go sit in that granny chair? Oh, why don't you do this? Well, if you don't do that. Well, wait a second. Last time I checked, I'm like, are we ever going to expose this investigation ever ending and more investigations? Are we just going to use in your mind technology to let people demean, bully, harass, humiliate? I don't know. Oh, what are we going to do? I don't know, America. Are we going to do anything about these fraudsters who like to impersonate? I don't know. Are we? You know, to those who are smart, cheers to you. To those who act like you're mentally challenged, I was just saying, I think you should go on a pedestal. Because, I put my shirt on backwards because I think it looks sexy, huh? Yeah, I'm like you. It's kind of like my mind right now. I'm really caged in and lies backwards. It's like, hey, Alice. Well, we going down? I did see a rabbit today. I sure did. Oh. Okay, so where are we at in time? Oh, that's right. I decided I wanted to go live in my mind technology talking to these people. Because if you aren't going to prove who you are, and you think a bunch of medical professionals are going to continue like they have since the 70s, I've never had a diagnosis. Because you know why? Because I've been dealing with investigations for 48 years. Well, wow. How sad is it to know that these people who do diagnose people are the ones creating the diagnosis and then putting people on medications. So not only the United States government can be corrupt in every area, but Social Security Administration must be held accountable, and the only way to hold them accountable is to create a system that we don't need them. Because if you think I want to sit here and listen to all the knowledge and the stories that in the end I've had to listen to for 48 years, and nothing gets fixed, why bother? You didn't create all these investigations not to fix it. So by now you can't give me my money. Because you're going to tell me that the 250 tons worth of gold, and you're saying there's 350 statues, and more than that around the world. And you're claiming that you're finally going to, after all these years, do something with it instead of let people keep pretending that it wasn't all based on fraud that you've already proven. And you're just going to do another 60 minutes about, what, 100 billion? And you're like, wait a second. That was only one little piece of the story. Does the story matter to people if you're not paying them to watch? So if it costs $3,000 average for a mortgage, obviously more than that to be homeless. I mean, how much does it cost for a hotel? They're adding extra fees, cleaning fees. They want tipping fees. If you don't do this fee or that fee, you need to pay to park. I mean, you have to eat. How much does it pay not to be able to cook? How much does it pay if you don't cook? How much does it pay you have to have somebody clean? How about, what do you do with your baggage? Mentally, emotionally, or physically? In America, when you got psychologists and medical professionals messing with people's heads, creating that baggage, and no way to unpack it. So you like the idea of letting people use technology so they can pretend. What's my testimony? That there's no such thing as classified. Because if you know that you took, and you did, and you have been, classified information, and do whatever you want with it, and they do, then it's absolutely sad to know that we have a system in America that continues to pretend that you investigate. For what then? If you aren't going to take the digital currency, back it by gold, make it where taxes are automatically collected off of every transaction, make it where every citizen, and then you got your proof of ID. Then you make sure they have some type of device so that a phone number is linked to them that can't be stolen for any reason. You prevent fraud by proving who's real. So if you've really proved by now who I am, and I get to be queen finally, so that way the world and the economy that's had my money, I know my money is paid for, so that people can have free energy finally, and not just the people who know how to steal it, and not the people who know how to take it, but everyone. Then you make it where people can really work. We have so much houses. We have so much property. Isn't it better to have people taking care of things, getting paid, having an interest in it? You make it where they have part and a piece of that, and money's always making more money. I mean, if you're not going to tell me that these investigations are finally proven that Social Security Administration is fraudulent, it's nothing but a pyramid scheme. So if the United States government doesn't take 250 tons worth of each statue times 350 statues of all that gold and back it with digital currency and create it so everyone can have real security that is really secured, because we already know it's off of fraud and keeping dead people alive. My mom's dead. She's alive in my heart and my soul. But you know what everyone needs? Not to be volunteers that aren't paid. No one should ever work for free. And everyone should have their own business contract of what's theirs. Undisputable. Things should be set up not to have change. And the change automatically set up to be reset up for more change. So that way what needs to be changed doesn't need to be changed. And that's the weirdest script I've ever heard. I have to replay that one. Now, you guys are the ones who are re-scripting that. Now, so there's someone on the system, and that wasn't the way that was originally worded. Very interesting. Okay. Well, I do know the plot line I've asked for, is for them to script no change needed. But since digital currency needs change, that's interesting. Okay, so we've got digital currency that needs to pay for the taxes out of it, the transaction fees out of it. So you got the difference in change. So now when you purchase something, you get credit. Okay, so we can't really go into that yet. Okay. Well, what I do know is I already did post is that we do need to do is set it up to not need to pay. No change needed. It has to be that however you do it. It's not discussed, it's just fixed. Because if you have to watch another article, another debate, another non-profit that wants to pretend that they aren't profitable by money laundering. Okay. That's right. How many people did you kill for it? How many people do you keep alive and pretend are not dead? Well, Then you'd fix a system that's spent. Oh, it's still spent. You like to save face, do you? Well, good. We don't have to discuss all these investigations. We don't have to unprove anything. Just give me my money. Put it back in the IRS fund. Oh, they're going back to 10. Okay. Well, see what you do. Because even when we negotiated at 5,000, you still didn't do it. And they want to go back into time when the person who loved me very much gave me his money and asked for 10,000. Monkey said I didn't have all this money and all this for her to end up with nothing. And it's me that said I didn't end up doing all this to save humanity and to care about children who I want secured, who I want to protect. Who the only way to do that is to not have a target on your back. Because right now, if you can't carry cash around, and anybody and everybody needs money, and you can't give it, and you can't create it to make sure the right people have it, then the only way is to make sure everybody has what they need. Because when people don't have what they need, it's a scary world to live in. And I'll tell you right now, the government is so fraudulent. It is nothing. It is a witch hunt. Oh, it sure is. And it's full of people who call themselves witches. They call themselves the devil. They do. And they rape, murder, and torture for money. So you want to continue funding rapists and murderers and torturers in a hostage game they pretend that doesn't exist. Okay, well then you have no choice but to take the money directly and make sure that it pays for the utilities, water, trash, and free energy for everyone. You got to start with the basics. And then make sure everyone has somewhere to live. And then fix it where this car register scam of yours. And we've already proved that's a mess. Do something with that. Because you already scripted all these properties should have a working vehicle. How are you going to get people to work? How are you going to keep people to be able to do anything on a system that is broken? Okay, well, you get back to me, please, when you're ready to give me what's mine so that I can do something about it. Otherwise, keep continuing to talk and talk and talk and investigate, and another investigation. Yeah, it's only going to pay for you to make it work. I'm going to change history. Imagine what our world would be like. Imagine a whole new plot line. It is my augmented reality. You have people wearing me. I have been a doll and a toy since the 70s. It's time. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. It's 10:10. We're now at 1400. 14 minutes. 1400, that's the time. Okay. All right. Cheers again to being smart. I hope that the right people do something. You know where I'm at.